Here we are at the Nathanael Greense House in Coventry, Rhode Island. This is the home that Nathanael Greense built in 1770. He and his family owned a foundry just a short distance from here. The foundry is no longer here. Coventry is right off of Route 95, south of Providence, Rhode Island. And this house is opened from April to, I think, September. On Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays, right?
Yes.
And let's see, walking into the kitchen, you see, and there are some period pieces. But there are some things that are actually owned by the Greense family. You know that Nathanael Greense was considered second to General Washington, hero of the Southern Campaign. And Nathanael Greense actually died down south shortly after the war, died of after having heat stroke. This urn was a gift to his wife a few years later. And maybe I can interview the docent. Is that the title?
Docent, yes.
Yes, and your name, sir?
My name is Richard.
Richard, and just tell us a little bit about the house and why people should flock to visit this beautiful gem of a site.
Well, this house is maintained as a shrine to the memory of General Nathanael Greense, who's probably one of our greatest national heroes. He was the most trusted general to George Washington, and sadly overlooked for many years. The house is beautifully restored to the period of 1770.
And if people want to visit the house, website, Nathanael Greense?
NathanaelGreenseHomestead.org, and we are open for tours on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 10 to 5, and Sundays, 1 to 5.
And that's April to?
April 1st to October 31st.
October 31st. Okay, well, let's take a little bit of this. Actually a portrait of the general. And this was, they're not sure who did it. Some people think it was a student of Gilbert Stuart, possibly a daughter. And I understood that part of the portrait was cut off, so I'm not sure who signed it or if it was signed. And here's a little picture of the general's daughter, one of his daughters. He had 5 children late in life. And the family lived here until what year? The Greense members of the family lived here until?
Nathanael built this house in 1770. He married Catherine Littlefield in 1774. Brought her here to live in 1775. He left for Cambridge, and he returned only twice after that, during the Battle of Rhode Island, and right after the war he brought Lafayette here to visit. He wanted to show Lafayette the house where he lived. Lafayette,
we are here, a famous
exactly.
Quote, yeah?
Exactly.
And you mentioned that the house was in the hands of the Greense descendants up until
1899.
1899, and it's currently privately owned by the Homestead Trust Association. Yes. Here's a portrait of the widow. This was later in life, 1810 or so. This portrait was done.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, and here's a plaque that was hanging in the front of the house at one point. And what you believe was his desk. I believe that, and so please make an effort to. There's lots of things to see outside too, the grounds and the various burials. Although Nathanael Greense is buried down in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
Well, thank you, and again, let's folks listening to this, watching this, please make an effort to visit the homestead.